and all, welcome to Seen Through Glass. Welcome to a rather unexpected video. Hopefully you would have seen my last video when I came here to Deal and Drive Luxembourg for a tour of the showroom and to get behind the wheel of a Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. Well, it's currently lunchtime and the team said, well look, as a sort of payoff for us letting you look around and drive and film one of our cars, do you mind going to pick us up some lunch? And I said, of course, no problem, but they're very kindly washing my 360 at the moment, which meant I didn't really have a kind of mode of transport to go and pick up lunch. They said, no problem, we've got the next best thing. Well, the next best thing was apparently this McLaren 620R. That's a race car. They say it's road legal. It's not really. It's a full-on race car. And apparently, this is what I'm going to use to go and get lunch. So just in case you've never heard of this thing before, a quick reminder. It is based on a McLaren 570 GT4. Yes, an actual race car. It is, as I've kind of mentioned, a road legal race car. It's not a racy version of a road car. You can kind of figure that out just by looking at it, but to give you some facts and stats, the GT4 race car is limited by regulation to around 500 horsepower. This thing isn't limited because, well, it's not going racing anywhere, so it gets, well, nearly 620 horsepower, more than the road-going 600 LT, making it the most powerful of McLaren's Sport Series. Are they still making the Sport Series? I'm not sure they are. I get very confused by McLaren these days, but I'm going to just say that they are. As well as that increase in power, lots of impressive aero. I mean, look at these canards down here on the front bumper, these kind of nostrils in the bonnet, this insane roof scoop, and then we have to talk about this fixed rear wing, which comes straight from the GT4 race car. And what I love is, to make this road legal, they had to incorporate the brake light into that big wing. Inside, things are a little bit hectic. You get those carbon bucket seats looking like they're straight out of the Senna. Loads of other things that are stripped away. I mean, look at these big old pulleys for the doors, because of course once you've got your harnesses on and stuff like that, it's quite hard to actually reach up here and grab the doors. Nice little nets to keep things in. Not a lot of space, I don't think, for pizzas, because that's what I'm going to be collecting today, but we're going to give it a go. This whole experience is going to be absolutely insane, because I've heard lots about this car, including that it's absolutely maniacal on the road, especially because of its quite mad P0 Trofeo R tyres. So yeah, let's start it up, take it to get some lunch. There's never really an elegant way to get in a car like this. These seats are so intense. They are cool, but yeah, just hard to get in and out of. It's quite full on in here. Now, of course, I used to own a McLaren 540C. I've driven 570S, 570 GT. I've even driven 600 LT, just not made a video of it on this channel. So I'm very familiar with these cars, and lots of this car is familiar to me, but there are some things that are very different. Mainly this kind of cavernous carbon fibre area which houses the roll cage, and then you can see the kind of, well, I guess where the air goes from that big old roof scoop down towards the engine bay, which is pretty cool. It's special, but as I say, also recognisable. Thankfully, I have noticed you don't have to wear the harnesses. There is also just a traditional seatbelt, which I've now put on, and yeah, feeling like I'm going to be able to figure this out. Inherently nervous, but trying to be confident. Now, today just continues to be absolutely mind-boggling, and the legends at Deal and Drive went, well, if you're taking the 620R out to get lunch, we also need to take that GT2 RS Manti racing car to get some paperwork sorted, so why don't we send that with you? They'll probably look quite cool together. And I was like, yeah, they probably would. So this has become a whole thing now. We're going to have a support vehicle, thank God, because firstly it will help me film, but secondly, just in case I can't fit the pizzas in anywhere, but also we're going to have a GT2 RS Manti racing with us. Two super track focused supercars through Luxembourg. Fairly nuts. So get myself comfortable and parking sensor's going mad. Classic McLaren. This thing vibrates so much. such a ridiculous and unexpected moment, honestly. Two insanely track-focused supercars just cruising along the Luxembourg highway, auto route, motorway, I don't know what they call big roads in Luxembourg, but it's not what you'd really expect to see things like this, but it's freaking cool. I have to say, at these kind of speeds when you're just cruising along, this car is far less intense than I was expecting. It might sound like I'm shouting, that's because I am, because it's noisy in here, but it's nowhere near as brutal as I thought it might be. To repeat for the 5th time in this video, this is a race car. The things that I am noticing though that are different, the sounds from the roof scoop or the air intake. I haven't actually driven a 675 LT with a roof scoop or a 600 LT with a roof scoop. You must be able to pick up on that noise. It's like, it only happens over a certain sort of speed or revs, but boy is it impressive and all. The 2RS is taken off. Don't know if you heard that, but the car very kindly reminded me I had reached the speed limit, so be careful from now on. But did you hear it? Just quickly, let me tell you about today's video sponsor, Chronext. Lots of you have noticed I'm wearing a slightly different watch than usual. This is my Omega Speedmaster Reduced Schumacher Edition. And I got this from Chronext about a month ago. Chronext stock around 7,000 watches from about 50 different makes, including Omega. So the minute I saw this thing, I grabbed it because I've wanted one for ages. The great thing about buying a watch from Chronext is all of their watches go through a detailed inspection in their workshop, meaning they all come with a 2-year warranty. On top of that, you can choose to have one of their watches delivered to one of their boutiques so that you can try it before you buy it. So I say I wanted one of these for ages, so the minute I saw it, I just bought it, but I still chose to get it delivered to one of their boutiques so I could go in store and have that kind of special moment of picking up my new watch. Chronext are amazing at supporting this channel and they're still offering you a discount code, so use code STG if you're buying a watch from Chronext. I suggest you head over and just have a browse because it's fun to look at their stock, but something might catch your eye, and as I say, make sure to use my discount code STG. Huge thanks to Chronext for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get back to the video. Tunnel! There's a tunnel! Track mode! Floated! Oh, the pops! The pops! Oh my god! Those of you that remember my 540C may remember the Larini exhaust I had on it. That popped like this. I wasn't expecting a factory exhaust to sound this way. This thing is bad. I kind of love it. Oh, sort of also wish I was behind the 2RS MR just then. So good. How many times have I said McLaren's biggest problem is that at low speeds they just lack a sort of sense of occasion that their rivals, Ferrari, Lamborghini, even some Porsches, can offer. But this bucks the trend. I mean, it's totally pointless. If you want a race car, go buy a 570 GT4. If you want a fast road car, go buy a 600 LT. But there's just something about the stupidness of that thing that I just really enjoy. And as I mentioned, it's nowhere near as hardcore as I was expecting. That's what McLaren do so well. Even in its sportier handling settings, the ride quality is still superb. But yeah, I mean, look at it parked there. It is absolutely amazing. Don't know why. I think I'm traumatized. I'm still surprised. Select a gear, Sam. I'm still surprised when a McLaren starts up first time. That's what's it called? PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Yeah, that's what I've got. because of my 540C ownership. Anyway, onwards through the city to this pizzeria. I'd forgotten what it's like to drive a proper modern supercar through the city. The 360 is great, I love it, but it gets a different kind of appreciation to something like this. Well, I say appreciation, something you have to get used to because you just get a lot of attention. Some of it bad, but majority of the time it's good. It's kids getting excited, it's parents trying to get their kids excited, giving you the thumbs up. You know, it makes you feel a bit special, but also a bit ostentatious. I'm a bit like, you know, I want to share the fun and the joy, but then I'm also a bit embarrassed to be the guy in a McLaren in the centre of town. Anyway,
you're over the speed limit.
Over the speed limit again. Calm down. It's very hard not to go over the speed limit in this car. Oh, merci. My question is, where am I going to put pizza boxes in a 620R? I haven't actually looked in the bonnet yet, but I'm not particularly hopeful. Yeah. I mean, the snorkels take up quite a lot of space, but as does a few other bits that are in there, so I think that's a no-go. I feel like the pizzas would be on an angle and all the toppings would slide off. So, the next best idea, passenger seat. Oh, look at that! Like a glove, this could be a Domino's delivery vehicle. What I love, as you probably noticed, everyone is looking. I mean, I've just parked a bright blue McLaren 620R in the middle of nowhere outside a pizzeria. But none of them seem to care. They're all looking, they're intrigued, more about my filming than the car. It's a very sort of Luxembourg thing, they're like, yeah, okay, here's what it is. I wonder, does this have a loud start-up? Let's put on a show now we're here. So start that, active panel on, track mode, and... Anyway, let's move on. Safely back at Dealan's Drive then, which I'm quite relieved about. But one absolutely mad but awesome experience. Huge thanks to them for giving me that quite silly challenge. But you know what? Mad cars are often the best, and I'd never really considered the 620R as a car. I just thought it was a bit pointless, but now having experienced it, I'm like, it's kind of great. So yeah, what a surprise. Anyway, I better get these pizzas up to a hungry team so that we can crack on filming the rest of the video that you may have already seen previously. If not, as I mentioned, go and check that out. Also, give these guys a follow because they firstly have amazing cars in stock, but they're also proper petrol heads and really passionate about what they do. So yeah, give this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it and stay subscribed for plenty more videos to come.